Simple financial mistakes can be very costly as you head into retirement. In this video, I'm going to cover off 5 main ones that I see. Now, I could cover off hundreds of them. I've wound it down to the main 5 that I see on a daily basis here in our financial planning office. The very first mistake I see again and again is people not utilizing their RRSP. And I think a lot of you think, well, if I put money into an RRSP, I got to pay tax on it down the road. And it just doesn't make sense. I'm just going to keep the money under my mattress or use a TFSA or whatever. But if you're in a decent earning income bracket, say 50,000 or more, you need to consider using an RRSP. The tax break up front, A, is worth it, and B, that money grows tax deferred until you take it out. So yes, when you hit retirement or down the road when you need to take that money out, it will be taxed in your hands. But I can tell you from doing hundreds of financial plans over the years, getting a tax break at 25, 35, 40% or more, and then pulling out with an average tax rate of say 5, 10, 15 at the high end is going to be a nice tax spread. Plus, again, that money is growing tax deferred. So if you have a mindset that an RSP is probably not worth it, or I have a defined benefit pension plan, I don't also need an RSP. If your income is still quite high and you're paying a high amount of tax, like if you're the type of person that says, man, I'm tired of paying all the tax I'm paying, and you're not utilizing an RSP, you're missing out. So consider using an RSP as you head up to retirement. The second biggest mistake I see, and this is probably the most costly mistake, but also the one I get the most pushback on, is not taking your CPP later. A lot of you hit 60, you hit 65, and by default, you jump into your CPP. Now, again, I've always said on this channel, and we have like hundreds of videos on this channel, and search YouTube. There's lots of content out there, and there's also lots of research done by independent firms looking at when is the best time to take your CPP. Now, we believe, and it's not just our belief, it's statistically proven again and again in plans, that deferring your CPP as close to 70 as possible makes the most sense financially. Now, that's based on A, you being healthy, and B, you living to an average life expectancy. A lot of you will make comments on our video saying, yeah, but Adam, if I don't take it at 60 and I die at 61, I get nothing. Okay, but what are the odds that you die at 61? You have to start using some of these assumptions when you decide when to take CPP. So if you use an average life expectancy for the average Canadian, it will make sense to take CPP at 70. Again, if you have a health issue or something else, that's fine. But a lot of you are taking CPP early 60, even 65, somewhere in between that range. The average in Canada is 63. You're leaving a lot of money on the table. Again, I've done other videos on this, but this is probably the biggest financial mistake. It's costing you the most amount of money is taking CPP early. Now, again, CPP is very well funded. It's in a good position. It's going to be there for the rest of your life. If you're watching this video, CPP is well funded and will be there for the rest of your life. That might be a part that you have to do the research on. There's information out there. Taking it early doesn't make sense for 99% of you. But again, most of you are taking it early. That needs to change. The third biggest mistake we see is not building up your TFSA heading into retirement. A lot of you have pounded away at RSP, and that's great. Again, that was my point number 1, build up an RSP. But as you get closer to retirement, you want to make sure you enter retirement with a TFSA account. Now, if you're someone that says, yeah, I'm a dual citizen, I can't have a TFSA, then a non-registered account. Some sort of account where you can draw money from and you're going to pay little to no tax. Once you hit retirement, if you only have an RSP and a defined benefit pension plan or just an RSP, and you need a lump of money, whether you need a new car, upgrade the car, a new roof, a trip, whatever it is, any larger expense, the only place you can pull money from is that registered account. And it's going to create a big taxable event. So that's why it's so important to create that tax-free savings account so that you have a bucket to pull money from when you have those larger expenses. And I can tell you, people that enter into retirement with either that TFSA or a non-registered account without a huge capital gain attached to it will be in a much better position flexibility-wise, tax-wise, as you head through retirement. And again, we really push the laddered income strategy, the go-go, slow-go, no-go phase of retirement. That go-go phase is early in retirement. You want more money. Well, how do you get more money without paying more tax? You have accounts like the non-registered and the TFSA account. So if you're not retired yet and you're like, yeah, I'm not sure how to build out these accounts, make sure you're allocating some money. Now, what a percentage is that? It's going to be up to you. But talk to your financial planner and figure out how much goes to RSP, how much goes to a TFSA. If you're kind of 5 to 10 years from retirement, that's a good time to loop in with a financial planner. If you don't have one, hire a fee-for-service planner to map out that plan for you. They can look at the tax situation and also your retirement goals. Like, it's not just a tax play, it's also where do I want to be in retirement and where should my kind of buckets be and how full should they be, so that I'm kind of structured, most tax strategic as I head into retirement. So the fourth mistake we see is not unlocking your LIRA. So your locked in registered account. That's what the LIRA stands for. And typically most of you that have a LIRA account, it came from an old defined contribution pension plan or a defined benefit pension plan. So what a LIRA is, it's basically like an RSP, but it's locked in. It's a locked in registered account. Now, when you hit retirement, it converts to a LIF, a life income fund. So your RSP goes to a RIF, your LIRA goes to a LIF. Now, depending on which province or territory that your LIF is part of or your LIRA is part of, you may be able to unlock part of it, anywhere from 50 to 100%. Now, we have a website, parallelwealth.com/LIRA, and we have on there like what each province and territory, how much you can unlock and ages and all of that. So check that out. If you have a LIRA, you want to understand how it works, which province or territory it's registered in, and if you're able to unlock it. Now, what does unlocking mean? A lot of people get confused with that. Unlocking means that you can move it from the LIRA to an RRSP. That's all it is. It doesn't mean like take it out tax-free or anything like that. It's just moving it from your LIRA over to the RSP. So in BC, we can't unlock any of it. But in Ontario, let's say, you have a LIRA that's based in Ontario, provincially legislated in Ontario, you can unlock 50%. So what that means is when you move your LIRA to a LIF, you want to check off, yes, I want to unlock the 50%, which means that let's say you have $100,000 in your LIRA, it will move 50,000 from your LIRA to your RSP and the other 50,000 from your LIRA to a LIF. Now, why do you want to do that? Well, what happens is when you look at a RIF and a LIF, both of them have the same minimum amount. So there's a minimum you have to take out every year, and that is based on two things: the account value at the end of the year and your age. That's going to give you a dollar amount that you have to take out on the minimum amount every year. With a RIF, there's no minimum. If you had 100,000 in your RIF, you could pull the whole thing out. Now, it would all be taxable, but you're able to pull it out. On the LIF side, there's a maximum amount, so you're capped. So when we build out a financial plan, that LIRA that converts to a LIF is typically there a lot longer. So step one, when we build a financial plan and we're looking at cash flow in retirement, move the LIRA to a LIF, unlock as much as we can, and start pulling out the maximum amount on an annual basis. It could be a monthly payment, but every year we want to take out the max amount because we're capped in that. The fifth mistake we see is people going into retirement blind. They have no plan at all. And often people will loop back with us, 2, 3, 4 years into retirement, and they'll ask us to do a plan at that point, which is great. It's better late than never, but you want to get a plan ideally 5 to 10 years before you hit retirement. But if you're someone that's kind of bumping up to retirement, you don't have a plan, get one done. Again, we've done them for people early in retirement as well. It's like getting into a car and just driving and not knowing where to go. Wouldn't it be nice to have a bit of a GPS, a direction on where to go? It's going to help a lot. Like our goal here when we create financial plans for all of you that reach out to us is to take all your paper maps and put it into a GPS roadmap, right? So you may have all these maps like, yeah, I got my pension and my CPP and my OAS and my TFSA. I got all these like income silos, we call them. What our job is and what any financial planner should be doing for you is how do those all work together and come together to give you the most efficient and highest after-tax income and reduce your tax bill along the way. So if you're someone that's getting close to retirement and you don't have a clear plan, get one in place. They're worth their weight in gold, I promise you. Every plan that we do in our office, we provide 100,000 plus in extra value and less taxes paid for our clients. So we see again and again that these add value, and that's the feedback we're getting from people. So make sure you talk to your financial planner, hire a fee-for-service financial planner to help you with your retirement plan. Now, the sixth and bonus one I want to talk about is converting from an RSP to a RIF. And I get this question a lot. It's probably one of the most emailed questions I get is, Adam, like, how do I convert? Can I keep the same investment? What age can I do it at? Like, what's the strategy around it? And a lot of you do it wrong. In fact, most of you do it wrong. So if you want to learn more about that, we have a video on that. We'll click it right after this link. It's called RSP to a RIF. So make sure to watch that video to learn more and learn how to convert your RSP to a RIF in an efficient and timely manner.